What's up everyone, it's Stephen for Hey Techie here, back again for another video for you all. If you're new here, you're very welcome to my channel. At Hey Techie, we're interested in all things smart home, especially Apple's HomeKit ecosystem. Today I'm going to be talking about the OSRAM Smart Flex light strip. Now I have to say, since restarting my smart home with Apple and HomeKit, I've been absolutely dying to get my hands on a HomeKit enabled LED light strip. You can see that I have a light strip behind my desk here which I use for filming videos, and I just really love the way that it looks. I think it really elevates the aesthetic of the desk and takes these videos to the next level. But the downside of my current setup is that it's not part of a smart home. There's no way to automate it. It really is just a basic LED light strip. It came with a little controller that you can choose to colour, etc, but there's no way to integrate it into our smart home setup. So thanks to my good friend The Tech Up, and you should definitely check out his channel on YouTube too, so I'll leave a link down below in the description. He suggested that I take a look at these, the OSRAM Smart Flex LED light strip. Now it appears at some point over the last few years OSRAM rebranded themselves to LEDVANCE, so the packaging reflects the old brand name, but so far as I can tell this is exactly the same product with slightly different branding, so I'll be referring to them both throughout this video as one and the same product. Now usually these light strips range online for somewhere between £25 and £45, but I managed to pick up these on Amazon for just $9.99 whilst they're on special offer. So let's take a look and see what we've got here. Now before we get into things, like with all of my other videos, I just want to let you guys know that this is not a paid sponsorship. I bought these with my own money to review, and in no way has anybody else influenced the product review that I'm about to deliver. The OSRAM light strip comes neatly packaged in this neat little box, which is nicely designed and emphasises the fact that the product works with Apple's HomeKit. In fact, the device works exclusively with HomeKit, so it won't work with Google or Amazon Echo or anything else like that. The light strip connects to HomeKit via Bluetooth, so the connectivity range will be shorter compared to a Zigbee Wi-Fi compatible product, but you don't need a hub to connect these up to your system, so that's very welcome. The lights themselves are a 10 watt, 480 lumens, and are powered from a UK wall adapter, though a European version is available on the market. OSRAM claimed that the LEDs offer 16 million different colour options, and of course promises Siri control, as you can see there on the front of the box. To the side they offer all the technical details. Apparently if you use these LEDs for just under 3 hours a day, they should last for about 20 years, so that's pretty good, and it also emphasises that the bulbs are dimmable too, so there's a good range of control over them once they're set up. Inside the box we find a 2 meter long wall plug cable, an extender cable roughly another meter in length, and a coil of light strips, as well as the Bluetooth receiver. The light strips are actually in 3 separate bands, each just over half a meter in length, which can then connect together quite nicely. What's very cool is that if you buy 2 sets, you can simply plug in 1, 2, 3 or more of these bands together to create a super long LED light strip, all powered from one plug. It's also worth noting that you can shorten these strips as required too. Marked on the silicon light strip itself, which actually feels quite premium and well built, there are individual scissor marks indicating where you can cut them down to size. Be warned though, you can't put them back together again once you have cut them, so bear that in mind. The box also helpfully notes that you cannot bend the light strip 90 degrees, but it will gently flex around a circular corner if there happens to be one there. You can secure the light strip to a surface using the double-sided tape on the back of the light strip. Now I tested this out very briefly, and it held out okay, but I don't think it would really hold in longer term. Assembly of the product is very simple. Simply plug the Bluetooth receiver's 5-pin port to the LED light strip, and ensure that there is a secure fit, and then all you need to do is plug in the Bluetooth receiver to the wall plug. Once the power supply has been successfully connected, the lights will then instantly come on and flash different colours. Unfortunately, it's at this point where I started encountering some problems. When trying to add the accessory to the HomeKit app, on multiple occasions I had great difficulty in adding it to the system. Despite scanning the code correctly, I just couldn't seem to get it to work. However, after rebooting the light several times, I eventually did manage to get it to work, and from there the setup process was easy enough. The light strip was automatically added into the Apple Home app alongside all my other devices, and because it's Bluetooth, it didn't have any issue working alongside other smart devices in my home. The lights themselves actually worked quite well once set up. They were powerful and bright, but the dimmable nature of the bulbs meant that this could be adjusted for the room they were in. The colour change feature also worked quite well. The bulbs can store 6 preset colour options for you to circle through, which is nice, but there is no way to get them to rotate like you can on my cheap basic light strip which I currently use. Now I thought that a little bit disappointing, to be honest, because it's not exactly rocket science to implement this. Because this device connects to HomeKit via Bluetooth, there will of course be a delay in the amount of time it takes for the input to go through the system. Now that's just an unfortunate reality of the technology involved, and it's something which as we progress to thread-compatible devices will vanish, but for now it really isn't that big a deal. Commands sometimes built up in a backlog, which isn't ideal, but I guess it shows the system does work, even if it is a bit slow. I'm not sure the transparency feature really adds anything though. I would recommend that users just stay on the solid beam light mode instead. Unfortunately, this is where this review really starts to go downhill. Whilst the difficulty in setting up the bulbs might be overlooked, it's a one-time process. And yes, there might be a little bit of a delay when sending commands to the lights because of the Bluetooth technology that's on board, but what really isn't acceptable are the substantial issues around Siri compatibility. Whilst the light strip could be controlled via Siri on my iPhone and iPad, the control of the device wasn't easy or natural. On many occasions, Siri advised me that the device didn't respond, or it couldn't connect, despite all of the other smart devices on the system working absolutely perfectly at the time. Worse still was the fact that the light strips appeared to be entirely incompatible with the HomePod Mini and Apple Watch. Now the lack of HomePod Mini compatibility might be excused by the fact that that product is so new, but LEDVANCE's website explicitly states that their device is compatible with the Apple Watch so long as it runs watchOS 2.0 or later. The fact that it doesn't work with the HomePod Mini is hugely disappointing, especially since the device can apparently work with an Apple TV. The lack of a HomePod Mini support effectively means that any setup running this would have a 2-tier Siri system, where depending on which device you use Siri on, some smart home devices would or wouldn't work. The lack of HomePod support also means you can't integrate these lights with scenes in the Homes app, or use them as part of automations, and that's a real problem for those looking to build this into their smart home. Let's be honest, who wants to have a 2-tier setup where you have to manually control certain elements of the system and get them to work together? That's what we're trying to get away from when we're building a smart home. To add to the really complicated picture on this issue, having spoken to others about how the OSRAM light strips work, they report to me that their light strips do work with their Apple Watches and their HomePod Minis, though again, in their experience, it can be patchy, like when I use my iPhone. Now, in trying to resolve this, I contacted OSRAM or LEDVANCE's customer service department, who, whilst being quite sympathetic, blamed Apple for updating their firmware and no longer supporting the more up-to-date HomeKit devices. Now, whilst I've also contacted Apple support for comment, it seems unlikely that the tech giant is going to roll out a fix especially for this product. It's just not going to happen. At the time of recording, it's still a situation in development. Caught between no clear path forward between LEDVANCE and Apple, it's impossible for me to recommend these light strips to anyone. Yes, they are built quite well, and for my purchase price of just under £10, they seem like an absolute steal, and they would be if they worked as advertised. However, in my experience here, essentially what you get is an LED light strip with a less convenient remote control than the basic one I already have. It's far more convenient to turn my current ones on and off with the remote or select a colour than it is for me to take out my iPhone or iPad and manually do it with the Home app, and that's really why you need Siri support for this. Now yes, Siri support does work on the iPhone and iPad, but because Siri compatibility doesn't work across the board, it ends up leaving your HomeKit Smart Home fractured. The OSRAM light strips won't work with Apple's automations or scenes, so ultimately it offers very little that a cheaper product can't do. even at £10, they're too expensive, and considering that they retail from other sellers for around £25 or £30 normally, I would really be giving these a hard pass. For a little more money, you could go down the road of a MAJOR light strip instead and enjoy a seamless HomeKit experience, and stay tuned for my review of that soon. So that's my thoughts on the OSRAM LEDVANCE Smart Plus light strips. I'm sorry it's not a more positive review, and I may well come back to this product again if in future there's an update. What do you think? Even if Siri wouldn't work using your HomePod, would you still consider using these in your smart home? Let me know in the comments down below, I want to hear from you. It's getting closer to Christmas now, and so I'm really going to push to boost my subscriber numbers up to the big 50. We've been posting videos on Hey Techie here for just over a month, and I'm delighted with the support we've seen from our friends here on YouTube and over on our Instagram page. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to pop it a like, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can stay up to date when my videos go live. New content is routinely uploaded every Wednesday, but lots of you seem to enjoy my little mini video last Friday, so I might drop a few more videos like that in from time to time if the demand is there. Until next time though, I've been Stephen for Hey Techie.